Hey everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Best of 3 Call of Duty Esports Podcast. I'm your host, Josh, SalvationsElite. To my right, it's Sam, Bash_Bo3 on Twitter. And to our farthest right, if you're watching on YouTube, per usual, is Rex, ShadyNero. Guys, girls, ladies, gents, everything in between. This has been a wild weekend again, man. I feels like every podcast, something crazy happened. So this week we got news, we've got reactions and tons of unexpected events happening over the weekend. So we'll be talking about it all. But first, guys, what's going on? Get it.
Josh, I'm feeling like a soy-scented candle that was just been lit before a rigorous love-making session.
Oh. Whoa.
Thoroughly basking in the melted wax while it oozes down my skin and makes me sweat.
That's hot wax.
A relief type of sweat.
This is sweat.
It's getting weird in here.
Wax going down your skin.
Sam, are you sweating? Because I'm sweating.
I'm just trying to figure out this scenario, honestly. I thought he was talking about hot wax going down his skin, but no, it's just sweat.
You know, that one snowballed.
Also soy?
Yeah.
Yes. Soy? Soy
I mean,
boy.
it works.
But all right, Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
I'm doing good. I'm actually, it was a great weekend.
It was.
Really fun weekend, so.
A surprise to be sure.
But a welcome one.
Yes, exactly. All right, guys, we got a lot to go through today. Of course, before anything else, you can find us on Twitter, like I said, at SalvationsElite, at Bash_Bo3, and ShadyNero. And you can find us, our podcast, you can find us.
Yes.
In audio form on YouTube, which is also in video form.
It is.
On Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, of course. We do appreciate that. And we definitely appreciate reviews.
We do.
We really appreciate reviews. We appreciate reviews so much that we're reading reviews today.
It's finally happening.
All right. So, Mikey Altabelli says, hey guys, I want to say I love the podcast and look forward to watching every episode. Sorry, I'm normally a YouTube view, but this podcast is great for someone like me who's diving into the world of competitive COD right now during quarantine, and this podcast is a great way to learn and hear from other people that are even more passionate than myself. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you so much.
And appreciate it. Thanks for listening, bud.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it.
And amazingly Zexy Beastly Gamer
says
the GOAT podcast. Greatest podcast of all time. These hosts are so cute and energetic. Whenever I see the pod go up, I slide cancel out of whatever I'm doing and hit the heady to enjoy their amazing competitive COD takes. These guys are cracked. Definitely listen.
Thank you, Beastly.
I appreciate the intertwining COD puns. I mean, that's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
We're cute, boys.
The slide canceling, the
We've
cracked,
made it.
everything.
There are actually a few more, so shout out to all you guys. We will read more. We need to, obviously at this pace, we need to save them.
We don't get too many.
So we need to save them for the future. But obviously, drop your comments down below, and they will be read eventually.
Yes.
So, so we do appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
Wowzers and me trousers. There's a lot to go over today. First of all, also before we actually get into anything else, we want to talk about the Fantasy League this weekend. Of course, the community fantasy event that happened this weekend. We do it on Draft Buff. No free shout-outs. And though not a sponsor, so please make sure it's not a free shout-out next time.
Yeah. Hit us up.
But shout out to SB Jefferson, my dude Earwig Pie, and Rainbow, who all three tied for first place with the same squad. They had Assault, Attach, Simp, Chino, and Mac.
Wow.
A very good squad.
Yeah.
And they all took home the championship this week. I got 14th. I was in that top 15. I was happy with myself, but couldn't come out on top. Obviously, I had a good squad. Like I had Assault, Dashy, Chino, Zuma, and Temp. Basically, everybody had Chino because he was priced as
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
He was priced as like a sub player, even though he was actually playing. So
congrats to those who had Mac. Wow.
Yep. Shout out to the people who took Mac because big plays,
Yeah.
big brain.
Big brain.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it was just a wild weekend when it came to fantasy. I didn't actually do any like other draft buff or draft king stuff.
King stuff.
Because last week I took a massive L, so I decided to take a week off.
I didn't even mention your rank last week.
Yeah. You know how it goes. But all right. With that said, we can finally transition into the news segment. Let's lead it off. Let's lead off with a little bit of CDL news, and we'll move into the challengers, and we'll bring it back with the CDL news. So off the rip, Pacman, just right before we started recording, actually.
The hottest news happens an hour prior to
Just like last
This is OpTic news.
The OpTic news, man.
Yeah.
Pacman announced that he's no longer a part of OpTic. So our first coach change of the CoD League, which is kind of fun. But this is, I mean, Rex, OpTic is, it's like you're their owner.
Changing. Whoever's the owner's listening to you.
I hope that they're listening to the podcast and they're seeing with the Chino, the JCap change, that it has a positive. OpTic had the best placing they've ever had. And was Pacman fired or did he resign?
That's the question.
Yeah, so we don't.
That's my question.
We don't know.
However,
rallied
at the same day. I'm pretty sure he announced it like this morning, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of weird timing.
But he's out of OpTic too.
Yeah, so now OpTic rallied. Now not OpTic rallied.
Coincidence?
Which is weird timing for sure. It comes off just it's such weird timing.
It is a weird.
Like you win the event and then now you're cutting your coach. I mean, we were talking about just a little bit before the podcast. Like we just saw the news like maybe 30 minutes before we started recording.
Yeah,
but it's like it definitely comes off as if Pacman didn't want Chino to play.
And then
exactly.
But we have no idea. We don't know where he's at with this. I'm sure the next CODcast where him and Nameless are on it will be pretty juicy, but it definitely comes off in a kind of like, maybe you were wrong type way.
It's either that, either Pacman was fighting, it's like, no, we should keep JCap in. JCap's a legend. He's been around forever. He's the GOAT. And then JCap's been sucking to put Chino in. They forced their hand, and then they did way, way, way better than they've ever done. And so they fired him because of that. Like, you clearly don't know what's going on. Yeah. Or JCap is being set up to move into that new coaching role.
Which is very possible.
Mm-hmm. Especially with Mud
I can see it. I don't know if I agree with it.
Being the boy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with JCap being a coach, but I could see it heading in that direction.
Yeah. Which, like, to your, like, I think you're, talking about this prior, but maybe JCap would be a better coach with like more.
It depends if his passion.
If he wants to be a coach,
that is true.
If he wants to be a coach.
Hey, I would say maybe his potential is higher than Pacman, but then like you're right. Does he even want to be there? So
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it too. I mean, what if there's a world where it's because OpTic's trying to free up budget to do something else? I mean. What if they're trying to make a trade and bring in a bigger contract player?
Gunless? Question mark.
Gunless?
For
question
who?
mark.
In place of Chino, you think? Or TJ?
I don't know.
Maybe?
That's a good point. Yeah, like do you?
But now it's like you just got second place. That doesn't really make much sense.
How could you get rid of Chino? You just had your best placing ever with him. His first time coming out. He doesn't have time like scrim properly,
if they're cutting rallied though, it doesn't come off as if it's just a COD move. It comes off more of like a organization
org move.
Like we need money or like we're over budget or something.
Yeah. Again, like
possibly or rallied's like contract ran out and then it just so happened to be at
like,
this time.
All this could literally be like no big deal, but like you do wonder how much of COVID or I don't know if I can say that or not.
I know it's good now. YouTube's lift their bans.
Okay. COVID is like truly affecting like cash flows of these orgs. Like, how much like of financial trouble are some of these orgs? And like, you got to think like some of these, but at the same time though, it's like you think like esports and content would
be established
and be fine. So I don't know. Again, we don't like really know what's going on. So this could mean nothing, but it's and it's interesting to talk about. So
I guess we'll have to see where it goes from here. I don't know if there's much else to like really like insinuate on before we get more information, which I'm sure the next CODcast will let us know. So no free shout outs.
Well, Pacman also said he wanted to be involved with he plans on being more involved with COD Esports still.
Oh yeah.
Specifically COD Esports, not even just general esports, just COD Esports, which means it feels like he has something kind of already lined up. Maybe he's going back to the CDL as an analyst.
Yeah, that's possible.
That would be
I
interesting.
personally
I don't know
really
how
like
he could
him as
be
an
aiming
analyst.
that way. Like, I feel like they wouldn't be hiring anybody right now.
Yeah,
but
I
I would.
know.
That's what I would assume too. But
Yeah. Plus, like they already have like enough.
they have
people
enough
there,
cash for an online
so,
league. I feel like, but
who knows?
Yeah.
it's a tough time to get fired during this whole thing.
It
So
is.
shout out to Pat.
We don't know if he
Pacman.
got fired. He might have resigned.
True,
Yeah.
true,
Yeah.
which is possible.
Well,
so.
actually, Nameless said like "what" in all caps on Twitter, and then like I had a GIF.
It comes
maybe
off as
it's
if
like-
he's fired.
It
It
does.
comes off as if he was fired.
Yeah. So we'll definitely keep you guys updated on that one for sure.
Yeah.
But let's move into the challengers aspects of the weekend. So obviously, with every homestand, there is an open bracket,
Mhm.
and this was another fun one, man. And another time, another tournament, and Nagafin and the boys end up back on top. Fellow Royalty,
Yes.
Def PD, and Standy all find their way to the top. I mean,
Mhm.
we saw some of the pro teams scrimming them recently, and now they're coming out on top in the open bracket. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Mhm.
So
It
shout
is-
out Rex, your boys.
Yes,
Make it happen.
I wanted fellow Naga fan. I wanted them to start placing well, and they did. They finally got first. I'm happy about it because I want them on pro teams.
It is
Yeah.
cool to see Mochilla too. Like he's the coach of the team.
Yeah,
It's kind of cool to see him still in the scene.
still around doing his
Yeah.
thing, man. Shout out. Yeah, and so like second place was Jintroid, Go Frosty, Awakening, Zaptia Spoof, obviously Parasite's old squad. And then UYU was fourth, Carnage Gaming fifth, Parasite Squad top six, and then Goonjar, Exotic, Pentagram, Profizi Fire, they got top six as well. There was kind of like a drama there with Parasite and Exotic Squad.
It was
with like
weird.
a whole hosting thing. Like supposedly like Parasite was demanding a host change
Mhm.
because they were like all pinging like 130, 150-ish, and you know how Parasite is when he gets his
Yeah.
mindset on something.
Which
And
like he did put out like a little video of it. Like what he was saying made sense, but at the
It
same
did
time it
make
comes
sense.
off as like in the moment it would totally come off as like
I'm Parasite,
I'm
make
Parasite,
it
make it happen. So
Yeah.
like I can see both sides of this. But again, that Parasite, I swear there's drama around this guy every single
He
week.
just has a bad rep.
He
Anybody wants to
does.
find anything to get him for. That's
Yeah,
what it feels like.
I mean,
to
in the
me.
moment, I don't think he's that good at communicating, like in the heat of the moment.
Probably not.
I
honestly.
agree.
It could be like he
I
came
think
off
that's
as
where his
like a
problem
dick.
lies is communication. Not that he's like trying to be a toxic communicator. It's just like communicating in general.
Yeah, it's just truly in the heat of the moment. I think like in tournament, he just loses it sometimes.
Yeah.
And then like after the tournament, he's totally cool and like can like that video he posted was like totally reasonable. I'm like, all right, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that wasn't how he was wording it during the tournament. But
Yeah.
and that's why it comes off as drama. But European scene wise was pretty interesting as well. So obviously Singularity made a change recently. They dropped Chain and brought in Gizmo, which was it came off as a weird change considering they've been so successful this whole year. And I mean, this is no shameful placing. They got third, but this is their first time outside the top two the whole season,
I was
basically.
gonna say, is this the lowest placing?
In any of the official tournaments.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know how you say the name. Jafa, Hafa, if they, I don't know.
El
But-
Hafo? I don't
El
know.
Haifa, it's like
Yeah.
the boss.
Hafa, Hefe, Mad Cat Squad, Nasty, Nolson, Weeman, Lenny. They finished first, and then the French squad with Whalers, Keza, Defrag, Brezzy, and Hydra came in second. So
Yep.
another interesting one. War finished fourth. So like really the two teams that we all expected near the top didn't make it happen this time around, but
They
still
got third, fourth. But
right.
yeah.
The names you'd expect near the top are still there, and they continue their dominance. The top teams continue to be consistent, and this I think it just shows again with like the conversation of like online COD. At the end of the day, the best teams consistently over time are going to be the teams winning.
Yeah.
And like, sure, it affects certain players a little bit more than others,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, generally the best teams are still out here winning every single weekend, even in 500 team open brackets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you guys have any thoughts with that side, or Singularity, or War, or NA side still, or what? Anything with the challengers come to mind?
I don't want to count Singularity out because they made one change,
Yeah.
but also the change is like, why? But almost similar to the Huntsman thing. It's like, you guys are so good, but it's almost worse for Singularity because they were getting first like every time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why did you make that change? But getting third is really still, it's just like they're eventually going to lose at some point. So I guess
Yeah.
it's now. Maybe they'll come back next tournament and be okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, like just like as a general kind of an interesting observation is I saw a tweet, not sure who tweeted out, but basically they said like basically the AM scene is a squad or a roster roulette until they find like the like the right squad, and the teams that you're seeing being consistently top 4, top 5, top 6
are keeping
four out of five. And so like it's kind of a weird thing, like did these top 5, 6 teams do that until they found like the right formula, or is it really like sticking with the 4 guys, 5 guys and sticking it out through the hard times? Is that the better play? And like it might suck to get last place or do really bad for one
underperform,
but like it's at least an interesting conversation to have. Whether
what's the better strategy?
Whether it's worth it to stick it out with a group of guys and build your chem up.
Yeah, the whole chain move was just so surprising.
Very weird.
Just came off as like weird timing. Like you guys are literally dominating and then you just drop them. Like what?
Yeah.
I wish I had a little bit more insight there, but the drama's just not covered like it is with the pro league.
Nope.
But they brought in King Phoenix a few weeks ago, like to start coaching them. About a month ago, they brought him in. He was their coach for Champs last year and like for the end of Singularity's coach last year near the end of the league. And I've actually reffed him a few times. He's hilarious. He's like the most passionate dude in the world.
That's awesome.
And brings a ton of energy. So he's always a fun guy. I really like him, and he's been really successful as a coach. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for them as well. But
yeah,
the big news this weekend, or like the rumors, the flying, what was talked about the most this weekend outside of the actual play itself was Prestinni. He kind of took the news by storm on Sunday, because rumors started flying around. I made a video about this, that the rumors were flying around that he was being bought out by the Huntsmen. And tonight, though, which the rumors were never officially expelled or talked about or expanded on until finally, like 36 hours later, Prestinni's like, nah, man, I don't know where that information came from. Like, I don't know what happened there. But it's
weird.
It was weird. So I hold Shift. He's the man. I respect him a lot. He does great content and does a lot for the AMP scene. He very confidently stated that Prestinni was being sent to the Huntsman or being bought out.
Being talked about. I think it was more about being talked about. So maybe Prestinni also could be lying too, and maybe that he is planning on going over there, but
that is the question.
I don't know. It's probably still in the works.
It is weird though. Like, why wouldn't he come out right away and be like, this is not true?
Yeah, he just tweeted good morning.
Yeah.
And then didn't do anything else the whole day.
That is weird. I'm pretty sure we talked about it because like we were saying like it would make sense. Arcitys wants to play with his twin again.
Right.
It definitely like the reason it was so believable too, again, if it is true or not, it was like it makes sense. Like if you're really dropping Gunless, it better be for someone, like worthwhile. Prestinni, right? But again, if this is just all worthless, not true, then
yeah. I mean, I don't know where I Hold Shift got the information. It could have been a thing where like he heard it from someone pretty high up and like they were in talks, but like it never actually went through and Prestinni never even heard about it. So like what if Prestinni didn't even know it was a thing, but it was actually potentially about to be a thing and then it fell through? It's possible.
That would kind of suck.
That would suck.
Hold Shift just ruined Prestinni's chances of getting on Huntsman. Dang.
I was definitely excited to hear about it, and I think a lot of fans wanted it to be true because I don't think anyone's inherently that excited about General.
Yeah.
But at least from the scrims we've seen, General hasn't looked terrible by any means. So I don't know. I mean, Rex, where are you at with it?
I personally really want Prestinni to go to the Huntsman. I think it'd be a great switch up. I think he could take Gunless's place. Maybe not like the same level talent wise, but I think vibes wise, and he will do the job that he needs to do, which is entry. So I don't know. I would love to see Prestinni go to Huntsman. I hope that he is just lying on stream to kind of cover it up. So maybe they're still in the talks, but that's what I want to see. I want to see Prestinni back playing in the Pro League because he was good when he was around. He looked good. One of the better players on the Mutineers. Then when he decided to take his own break, he just kind of like disappeared.
Yeah.
It's like, this guy was so good, better than other players in the league, and he's not playing. That's like the weird part,
Oh no, yeah. I'm just confused about how the information came out and why nobody expelled the rumor sooner.
And like ILLeY Shift
because
too,
I think
like,
it's true. I think it's true.
What has ILLeY Shift ever like been like a rumor guy? Has he ever been?
No,
like
he never.
So like it seems like weird that he would come out like this guy who's a respected person comes out and confidently says this. So
I mean, I know he knows people, but I don't know who told him. I have no idea.
I think it's true, or at least they were in the talks. Like I think that's what he probably got, and maybe it's going to happen, maybe it's not. But I think it was a thing that was possibly going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, based off what Prestinni said tonight, though, it doesn't sound like that this is happening by any means.
What did he say? He just said like, "Oh no, he just could be lying. He's on stream. Like he is so casual. He doesn't care. You know."
I mean, yeah, I agree. Yeah. It's possible that they're just covering face, like make a cool announcement, because you know how the Huntsmen are with announcements.
Yeah, they are.
But it's hard to imagine that if it was true, I don't think he would have said anything, which is why like him saying nothing.
That is true. Yeah.
That's why him saying nothing like really made the rumors kind of blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's not happening now, but I don't know. I think ILLeY Shift was going off of some sort of valid information.
Well, I know he wouldn't just say that for no reason. So he for sure when he said it believed that was true, but he might have been fed bad information.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, that's really unfortunate.
I know. Yeah, that would suck to like get that wrong.
I know. Like, and like it's like a big break for his like news.
Yeah.
And then
it's like, oops.
Like it happened to me, I'd be really frustrated. That'd be really annoying.
Because then like that looks bad on ILLeY Shift, even though like again he could be very much believe that was the case.
Yeah. Yeah. So because Prestinni was like, he basically said like, I don't know why he said it so confidently. Like there's literally nothing there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. At this point, I think it's either never was supposed to happen or it never got to Prestinni. At least Prestinni believed that it was never actually happening. So at this point, I think it's a rumor.
Yeah.
And just fake news. But yeah, that was surprising and unfortunate because I would definitely love to see Prestinni there. But all right. Let's move on to the main event. CDL Florida reactions.
Craziness.
So let's start out with like kind of like broad questions, specific ones with like actual answers, and we'll move on to like team breakdowns. So first of all, let's just start off with the big one. Who do you think was the MVP of the tournament? Obviously FaZe, spoiler, took it home. And you know, going into it, I had said like at least what I said last week was like if this is gonna work out, it's gonna be Cellium. But where are you guys at with it?
Cellium's not bad. I mean, everyone kind of did their job like FaZe does, so it's hard to like pick these MVPs like that breaking out. But I mean, I would personally go with Simp. But I could see Cellium contending for that same place as well. Yeah,
I mean, I guess really either. Like, there isn't one that's like, oh, for sure Cellium or for sure Simp. It's one of those two. I just like confidently.
I mean, if you had to cast your vote for an MVP, who would you vote for?
I mean, Simp. It's again, it's low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
That's who I'd pick.
I don't blame you. I mean, just to make my prediction, right? I'm gonna say, no. It's actually one of the toughest ones. It's probably the toughest MVP call of the year so far. Because they both put up like good numbers throughout the whole event. I mean, let me pull it up real quick. Cellium had a 1 point. Oh, 1 second. Cellium had a 1.11 KD, and Simp had a 1.19 KD overall. They were, I mean, basically all of FaZe was great as a whole. Hardpoint, Simp had a 1.22. Again, stats don't mean everything. So I'd totally fine with decision either way. I think if I'm being realistic, I would have to say Simp because at the end of the day, it's harder to be a slaying SMG and put up stats in this game than it is to be a main AR. So I would vote Simp as well.
Yeah.
In all honesty, all right.
In all
honesty. But yeah, they look fantastic. So okay, we'll start with that. Next question. Who was the biggest like letdown player-wise for you this event? Who's the guy that you were just like, you know, you had high hopes for and didn't pan out? Rex? You got one on tip of your tongue?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I said this in the last podcast, but I wanted ASIM to do better. I thought he was going to keep improving and going to keep getting better, but he was kind of a letdown. He pulled the Rokkr down this tournament, which stinks. And I was really like, I don't know. He was my big guy. I was like, he's going to break out and become really, really good. And then he did this. So it was like, okay, you're not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a 0.18. He had a 0.81 KD, minus 36 plus minus. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Mm-hmm.
That's fourth worst in the tournament or so. Bottom 5 in the tournament. And he was bottom 4 in time and hill. And so he just really wasn't helping the squad as much as he normally was.
Yeah.
For the Rokkr, but Sam, who's
I mean, I'm sticking with the Rokkr here. I was I shouldn't say unimpressed, but like usually when Rokkr is doing really well, GodRx is doing phenomenally, and like he just was not putting up stats like he usually does, and so that I mean, again, like you could say like he still did okay, and you know Asim did kind of tank a little bit, but just for the fact that GodRx is usually that guy that is like pretty much helping Rokkr put up stats, and he wasn't doing that this weekend. It kind of sucks for the Rokkr. So that would probably be a contender for that list.
Yeah, I think the Rokkrs are really interesting conversation. So we'll probably talk more about them here in a little bit. But I can't hate on that one because that was pretty disappointing. No, I mean he's supposed to be the man.
Yeah,
really like dude. He only had a 0.88 KD.
Yeah.
Yikes. Because I mean he's been like hovering around like 1.2 this year.
Yeah.
So like it by far his worst event of the year. I think I would probably go with one of the Florida trio, either Frosty, Havoc, or Mox. All three of them were terrible. Yeah. They were so bad. I think I'd probably go Frosty because I feel like I had the highest expectations out of those three for him, and then he did, debatably the worst out of all three of them. So I don't know what happened with that situation there. I mean, they did play, two difficult teams, but still, based off how they played in the past, they should be able to compete, and they were getting smoked. So Frosty, and Frosty specifically, minus 33 plus minus on the event, like only 0.53 kills per round in S&D. Yikes.
Rough game.
Yeah, it's rough. So I would go with Frosty. Next up, we got the biggest player in a positive, the biggest surprise from a player in a positive sense.
Yeah.
So what player most positively surprised you?
Methods.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think really Methods played way better than I thought, and Ultra in general played way better than I thought. I knew they were getting better, but they just looked a lot better. And Methods, he came to play. So
yeah,
let's see if that keeps up. But he surprised me in a positive way.
Slasher's S&D performance.
Oh my!
Wow, that was awesome, dude.
What, 16 kills, right?
That was insane. It was like back-to-back rounds where he was just like going crazy. I was like, what in the world is happening? But then, do you say that Chino was the man, although he didn't put up stats? Did he make this team? We're going to talk about this later, but could Chino be the best to ever done it? No, Money Cheen. But just for this conversation though, Slasher,
I'm disappointed it took us that long to say Money Cheen, to be honest.
Yeah, just said it right at the beginning.
Yeah, we should have opened with Money Cheen.
We should have had the dollar bills and
I know
flung them at the camera.
Yeah, Rex, you're the prop guy. Where's your dollar bills?
Yeah, bro.
The wallet's in my living room.
Slasher for me would be the most positive player. Surprise.
Slasher's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah,
that is a good one. I like that a lot. I mean, maybe I'd say Mac. Because I mean, he was great, and sure, he helped New York a lot last event, but this time around, he was the man for New York. Unlike, previously, it felt like Zuma, Attach, Temp were all ahead of him, in ability and slaying power. But this time around, it was the Max show for some of those games.
Yeah,
and I was pumped to see him go off in some of those matches because it's only better if New York's. It's only better for the league if New York is good because it's just more storylines and more drama. And the competition's crazy right now when Mac's doing that. And he was a big surprise for me. So I'd say Mac. All right. Now let's move to a few team questions before we move into the actual team breakdowns. Which team surprised you the most? Positively or negatively?
There are so many teams that you could pick for this.
There really is. Pretty much every single one.
Literally every team.
Rokkr, because they were so bad, way worse than we expected Rokkr to do. Mutineers, because they were so bad. OpTic, because they were so much better. Toronto, because they were better. Subliners, because they were better.
Yeah, who do you pick here?
Like, there's so many. I mean, if I had to pick one, I'm going to go with Rokkr.
Yeah.
Because I thought Rokkr was going to win.
Yeah.
So for them to do what they did, maybe I'll change it to Mutineers, because Mutineers I had going to the semifinals, and they didn't win a map. They didn't even make it to that single elimination bracket.
Yeah, they literally didn't even win a map. Like they got 3-0'd by Rokkr and got 3-0'd by Subliners.
Yeah, so Mutineers actually is probably the most negative surprise for me. I was hoping for a lot more.
Yeah. I think I have to say Rokkr based on my prediction, because I had Rokkr win it all. Again, I was like all gung-ho Rokkr here because they hadn't won one yet. And
this was their tournament.
This was their tournament to win. And they
blew it against Subliners.
They blew it. So yeah, maybe Rokkr for me, but at the same time though, like how do you
not say Paris? I mean Toronto.
Ultra was like, what in the world? Where did they come from?
I'm saying Toronto. I mean, my goodness.
Because like, did we all have them on a bottom 2 power ranking?
Yeah.
At least bottom 2. I mean, I don't know, remember, but
I mean, again, we did mention last week that we were talking about like the potential that Toronto had to improve, and like we heard the coaches and the players saying, "Hey, Toronto's don't sleep on them." And like we talked about that last week, and they proved it, man. Yeah. I mean, they finally found their starting 5. It feels like, and I would definitely say Toronto's the biggest surprise by far for me, positively or negatively, because them 3-1-ing the Subliners and 3-1-ing the Rokkr, and then taking OpTic to a 3-2 in the semis. They were almost in the finals. They were a few rounds away, basically, from
crazy
playing in the finals.
Right.
3 of the bottom 5 teams before this event was in the
semis.
Were in the semis. How crazy is that?
Like what? That's crazy, man.
Like who? Like again, like predictions, just throw them out the window.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about when are we going to do our next power rankings? We might wait a little bit now because like at this point, it's like, what in the world do we even do?
I don't even know what I would say.
I mean,
I don't either.
One thing's proven to be true: online COD is way less predictable than LAN COD. Like there are just more variables for sure, and like that's noticeable. But over time, the best teams will continue to win. Yeah. But like there are variables that come into play
per tournament. It's
game
like
to game, map to map. There are variables, and like it can create very inconsistencies. And
especially when
it's hard to predict.
Skrapz isn't even at a setup. And
we haven't even talked about that yet.
For some reason, that map was not restarted. But
that was wild, dude. I mean, so I tuned in. I literally was like a minute late or 2 minutes late. Yeah. I tuned in. It was like 105 to 0. I'm like, wow, FaZe is dominating. FaZe is doing really well.
And then you see London's killing themselves.
Well, then like, because like I joined in like literally the second they started pushing the hill again. So I didn't realize. So maybe about a minute later, when I think it was Miles and Momo were talking about like, man, this has been the weirdest map of. So I went back and like rewound, and I'm like, oh my word, what is happening?
They're not even playing.
This is crazy. But I don't know. Did you guys have any opinion on that? Like, the restart, Rex? Did you have any opinion on the restart or the not restart? I guess
you guys cut out for me that whole conversation. So I
you hate to see that.
Oh, you're good.
No, but
I can talk about that.
Yeah.
I don't know why that wasn't a restart. Like. It's so clearly like Skrapz did not respond.
I mean, supposedly they told Skrapz multiple times that like we're about to start, and then he still got up and went because I don't know. But then Skrapz said like they told me 5 to 10 minutes, and I was just going to get my water bottle refilled.
Oh
and then I came back, and then the map was going.
Yeah.
So I don't really know where I'm at with that. I'm assuming Skrapz is telling the truth. I don't know why he wouldn't be. Yeah. So if that's the case. What? And how are you not restarting?
And then even FaZe too was like they were willing to restart the whole map.
FaZe wasn't moving either.
So so it's like if both teams are willing to restart, why would you not restart?
Yeah,
I'm not sure. But I mean, they also have a schedule to stick to. Maybe they're trying to like keep it on that and like be strict with these players because we know how these players can be with timing. Yeah. And if they're not strict about it, people are going to show up 15 minutes late, 20 minutes late.
But man, that's hard to recover from.
Yeah, like. it was impressive that they still won the S&D after, but like I feel
good regain.
I feel like your like mental vibes are like crushed. Like we just lost that map for no reason.
Yeah.
But
I mean, at the end of the day, they could have or likely would have lost it anyway, but like
still.
Come on, man. You got to give them a fair shot.
Like crap.
Yeah, that was tough. But all right. Let's move into the actual team breakdowns here. So, we were already talking about Toronto, so let's stick with Toronto to start things off here.
Yeah.
Are they legit?
They might be legit.
Rex?
I think they're growing into. I think everyone's turning into someone to be legit, except for maybe Paris.
Yeah, they're on a downward slope here,
they're
man.
kind of on a down, which I hate to see.
That
I
is
want
weird,
Paris to do
yeah.
well, but I don't see it happening. I feel like they might have hit their ceiling, but Toronto's definitely. It seems like these teams are turning into the teams. Like if they have the names on that team, they're starting to become good teams.
This is the time
now.
of year that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at the beginning of the year, it's like, oh wow, Rokkr's doing really well, and they got all these players that no one thinks are that great. And then now we have like Toronto, like Methods, Luna. They got these big names that everyone knows about, and like now they're doing well. FaZe's doing well. So I don't know. Maybe things are a lot getting in order again. The universe is straight again.
Yeah.
I think with how Toronto came in to the league, doing 10 people
And just messing around with their roster constantly.
You would assume that they expected to have trouble at the beginning and then to find out. So maybe this is where they have finally found the 5, and maybe this is where we see Toronto's strategy of throwing 10 guys into a team. Maybe we might start
paying off.
Start see paying
reaping
dividends.
the benefits.
So
yeah,
of course, this was just one. But
again, like I said, they didn't just beat nobodies. They beat Subliners, then they 3-1, then they beat the Rokkr 3-1, and then they lost a semifinals match to OpTic Gaming 3-2.
Yeah, so
yeah, but it's weird because those teams, except for Rokkr, were already nobody teams until this tournament. So
Subliners
like,
and
Subliners and
OpTic.
So I don't know. Maybe. I don't like to give anything too much credit after just one tournament.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the Rokkr 3-0'd the Mutineers, though, and then got 3-1 by Toronto the next series.
Yeah, but was Rokkr just playing bad, though? Because we give
they
Huntsman a lot of this credit.
Playing bad.
Was Huntsman bad, or was the other team actually playing up to them? Now, we should say the same thing about Rokkr. Is Rokkr just playing bad?
Yeah, which
I think they were playing bad.
Which we could say they were playing bad based on the stats that we're seeing. Like GodRx, again, was not playing his best. So it could be that case where it's just like Toronto was playing pretty well, and then the teams they're playing were playing pretty bad.
Yeah. This has been, like, originally when I went into this, I just hated that there's only 8 teams at every tournament. But now I kind of love it. I kind of like the switch up every time. I know it's not fun when the best teams aren't there. Yeah. Like if, we're missing Empire this tournament, you're missing Huntsman, but like it is fun to have like the opportunity for like Toronto to make semis.
Yeah.
Like that would never happen in a full tournament.
And OpTic on, almost
the
all
grand
the way.
finals. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you're seeing like matchups too, like all around. It's just like these matches that may not have ever happened if it was the same 12 teams every single time. So the league is definitely, I think we can definitely say that it is a competitive league. Like, very competitive. Like you can have your power rankings, you can have your tiers, but at any day someone can show up and take down FaZe, can take down Huntsman, take down Dallas. So I mean I think that's just good all around for viewership, the league in general. So that's cool. I thoroughly enjoy that.
Although they still can't figure out all their audio problems.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. That's not good.
Yeah.
What in the world?
It's the third one in.
I mean, it's tough though because they're doing all this online.
Oh, it's tough. It's tough, but like
you would think
we are a month in.
You would think it would be better than it would the first time, and yet we're still like lagging.
And there's interviews where like people are completely over talking each other, and the casters.
There's times where like the interviewees are like a minute behind, and it's like this.
That was so awkward. Who's that? I can't even remember which interview that happened with, but one of them with Lottie.
Lottie was
she was literally talking like a whole. Maybe it was Zuma. It was Zuma.
Probably Zuma. Yeah.
and she was literally talking like a whole like 45 seconds ahead of Zuma.
Just like, oh.
And so Zuma was just sitting there like, yeah, just like dead air. Like, oh no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was incredibly impressed with metals. Like, I feel like they might be here to stay as at least a middle tier team now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like maybe we're not going to show them, or maybe they're not going to show themselves as like a top 4 team, but for sure contending like
top 6,
7, you know? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. And I think there's a lot of room for them to continue. So I guess we were all talking about Paris as well. We can move on to Paris. Like, what in the world, man?
Just disappointment.
It's just disappointing.
It really is.
And they didn't look that bad against FaZe in the first series, but then they looked like so bad against OpTic.
Yeah. It was weird.
They took the Dom. Yeah. Okay. The Dom 148, 145 against FaZe.
Yeah.
And they put FaZe to around 11 in the first series, 6-5 on Petro. So it's like they were playing them tight, and like it was 212, 250 on Cave.
That game 4 though.
Yeah. Then FaZe was showing their dominance because it was like what 200 to 20 or something.
Yeah. It was rough. Yeah. Like they got their like last 100 points.
Right.
Like FaZe. Yeah. So that game looks a lot closer than it actually was.
And close has in 117 points.
So. But yeah. Like again, like you said, 6-5 for the first S&D. They won the Dom. They were playing pretty close the first hard point, but then it's just they're just not consistent.
No, not at all. And then then the whole series looked terrible against OpTic. I mean, OpTic wiped the floor with them.
Yeah. What do you even like?
Obviously, the S&D was close.
How do you improve this team?
That's the problem. I just don't see what the upside is with the team
anymore. The skill there? Kismet?
Maybe, but at the same time, like, it's not like any of these guys were elite players last year or
true.
Ever in their careers.
Yeah.
They've always been good players. I feel like at the beginning of the year, they figured out how to play certain, like Hackney, they were the first team to start using 2 ARs on it. They really were figuring out the meta. I think they were ahead of the meta early on in the game, and now it's just like I just don't see it.
You're kind of starting to see like everyone pretty much knows the meta now, and it's like skill is now showing more, and maybe these guys just like you said, like maybe not the highest upside in the league.
Like we were talking about that. I mean, like with OpTic, I mean, there's teams that just don't learn the game as fast. Like a guy like Tej is kind of known to not like learn games as fast oftentimes. And I just feel like Paris might have found the game early, and now we might be seeing their ceiling too. So I'm a little bit worried. Rex, are you on the same page?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying before. Is like I think Paris might have hit their ceiling. I wish it wasn't the case, but it's just that's what it seems like. I don't know what do they change something? Do you get a trade in, maybe 0 or rated even? But do they have the budget for it? Like, who is Paris?
Is that really going to improve you? Yeah, I agree. I think they might be. This roster is probably going to be their roster for a while.
Do you think Paris is going to be like a last play, like in the near at the end of the season? They're going to be like near the bottom,
probably
tier.
I would imagine bottom 3,
if not bottom.
Are they
just be like, they're just not good anymore.
They're 6. Okay, so
I can see it too. I can see them going all the way to the very bottom.
Yeah, they got 60 points right now. I could see them only getting a couple more points. Before playoffs, and then you're seeing Subliners go. Probably gonna take off. Ultra is probably going to take off. OpTic Gaming is going to take off.
Well, good news for them that everybody makes playoffs now.
Yeah, true.
Of course, the format, it does matter to be. You get 2 buys if you're first place.
Top 2
get 2 buys. It matters because the buys really do make a big difference. Yeah. But so I agree with you. Paris, a little bit of a struggle. So London, Shawnee, where are they right now as a team? I mean, where do you feel like they're improving? I don't know. They beat OpTic at the beginning of the tournament.
Yeah, and then they just kind of crumbled. Like, it just kind of fell apart. Like, has Shawnee, is he proving to be good switch for rated?
It just feels like a wash.
It's weird, man. This team is
It doesn't feel like nothing happened. It didn't feel like anything happened to me.
No, yeah, I agree.
I feel like this team was closer to greatness before the change. And now it's like like this, and that's what's frustrating too, is like these guys should be really good.
Yeah.
With what like Weskins and Skrapz are putting up, Dylan.
Dude, those snipes that Weskins, though, that Piccadilly Search and Destroy Weskins versus OpTic.
Yeah, it was awesome.
London versus OpTic.
But yeah, Weskins
Weskins versus OpTic's not that far off, but
yeah, like you just feel for these guys, like, oh, they should be doing better, but something is just
it's so frustrating, man. Dylan is not Dylan of Black Ops 4.
Yeah,
and I think we might just have to accept that at this point. And if that's the case, then I just don't know.
Do they have a coach?
Josh is their coach, right?
I think so.
Oh, that's right. It is like, yeah, Josh is their coach.
Josh.
Yeah, so
maybe it's the coach's problem.
Maybe, but
you guys don't like to talk about coaches, but I think coaches need to be held more accountable for things.
Rex and his picketing against coaches. He leads the charge.
I'm not against coaches. I love coaches. I think coaches just need to be held to a higher standard than they are.
Yeah, no, I feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, if Dylan's not going to be the Dylan of Black Ops 4, then I just don't see this roster ever being top 5.
Even like Jerd too. Like
Jerd's been bad.
He's been pretty bad. Like just like plain and simple.
Not great. Marky B the coach, but yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I'd have to look that up. Yeah. I can't recall off the top of my head.
Marky B is, I think, is Ultra's coach, and then Josh is the Royal Ravens coach.
Yeah, they may just be stuck in the middle here, which is really unfortunate because they really should be good.
Yeah, I feel like if this was a LAN league, they would have made a real change. I mean, well, Nasty would have, or Petey would have been in the starting lineup.
Yeah,
me and Nasty and Petey always get it mixed up, man. But yeah, Petey would have been in the starting lineup. So it's like the whole LAN thing ruined that and threw that off. And so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I feel like if it was LAN, they would have made some bigger changes by now. But that's just not going to happen. So Mutineers, I mean,
they
06 map count
tanked,
got smoked. Like
they lost every single map.
Yeah,
this is a team
shocking
that was supposed to be good now. Like, but now again, it's like the team we predicted to be bad is now finally bad. So were they just ahead of the curve meta wise, and now people have caught up, and now they're just going to be bad for the rest of the season?
I honestly think.
Did they get complacent? Maybe.
I honestly think Frosty, Havoc, and Mox are like the biggest X factors in the league. Like when they're playing,
well, they're just inconsistent.
Yeah, like when they're playing well, they win a championship, they get in the grand finals of another one, but then they can also just play horribly.
It's hard to pinpoint like what causes them to play bad.
Because I think Caesar, Pharaoh, and really Prestinni when he was on the team were playing pretty much fine.
Consistently, at least.
But then like these three are
Mox has been really inconsistent.
Yeah, man.
And then Frosty, this tournament was terrible for him. This is by far his worst tournament.
Yeah.
And then Havoc's been
yeah,
all year, but you can have one player and then be totally fine. You can't have 3.
No.
Yeah.
That's how you get 6-0'd.
Maybe he just had a bad tournament. I mean,
in my opinion, it felt a little bit more fluky than like what we saw from Paris. Like I feel like the bounce back's there for Florida still.
No, yeah. They were better than what they showed.
Yes. But like what we did say before was that first online tournament, there could have been more potential for it to be fluky because like even Crim said, the servers were terrible in that first online tournament. So like if that was the case, then Florida's got the beneficial online servers, and it just happened to be the same tournament that Pharaoh comes in for the first time.
Yeah.
Like that just all came together and then they win it, you know? And maybe that's where the flukiness comes in. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but like that's kind of like the argument for like why like maybe Florida was more of a one-hit wonder than we originally thought.
Yeah. Maybe the vibes are just so good coming in. Maybe OpTic's going to be the same way. Maybe like
it's
the
possible.
Vibes are just good for that first tournament. There's some fresh blood, you know, new mindset, and they do what they did. And then after they scrim for a week or two, and then they're like, all right, we're too used to this. There's no allure to this, no novelty anymore.
Yeah, I think it'll say a lot how they come back the next tournament. If we see them play good, then
it was just a weird series.
Well, that was a weird series. If we see them play bad again, it could have been a fluky win for them.
Except we don't see them till June.
Is their next one?
Yeah,
June?
we don't see them till freaking June 5th.
Dang. Yeah,
like bro, and they play Huntsman first map. Is that the death bracket?
It could be, honestly, where like Huntsman got
blessed.
Oh
no, it's not. That's the Huntsman Mutineers Toronto Guerillas bracket.
Yeah.
That looks even better for the Huntsman now, man.
I know.
Oh my word. Although Toronto's actually formidable now, but yeah, so we'll see. That's a long time to wait before we get to figure out where the Mutineers are as a team, though. What in the world?
Yeah.
So, all right, I guess we'll move on because we're going to have a lot of scrims to see the Mutineers before we ever talk about them again, basically. Yeah. But let's move on to the Rokkr here. Another team. What in the world? What in the world with the Rokkr, man?
I feel like we can confidently say this was a fluky one. Like, or not fluky. This was just an off tournament. Because, like, they've played, like, we've seen them
was
play.
It the beginning of the end?
Yeah, you can say that, but
I don't want it to be.
It would make more sense to say that we've seen them play consistently good up until this point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
So this would, again, I feel like there's two avenues. This is the beginning of the end, or this was just a really bad series for them, which I think it is. I like, especially with how bad God of X is playing.
Well, they better figure it out.
Yes.
Because
That's true.
Their next event is, I'm over screens. They got Seattle. They've got OpTic Gaming first off. And it's by no means an easy pool now with OpTic being a solid team. You got Huntsman, Legion, Rokkr, OpTic.
Yeah.
And then in their home series, they have the Group of Death. So their home series in June, they have Empire, FaZe, Surge.
Oh my gosh.
So they better figure it out by June. Because they'll be in trouble if not. But yeah, I don't know, man. A sim, again, man, we talked about this, and we were talking about that, Rex. You said that earlier. A sim doesn't need to be a superstar for them to be great. We've seen that. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need to be a superstar, but like, he was really bad in this tournament, and he has not been good in Search and Destroy this whole year. Mm-hmm. And Search has been probably by far the most inconsistent game mode for the Rokkr, and a sim has been their worst player by far in S&D. And this event, I mean, he was minus 36, which was, bottom half of, or bottom third of the league or probably like bottom 7 in the league at this tournament. And you're just watching them play S&D, a sim gets first. I mean, I know his job is to like be the aggressive player, get first bloods, and like, but he's not winning those duels, those first blood duels. Mm-hmm. And do you think there's any world where they make a roster change?
I don't think so. I don't think so after this tournament. Maybe after the next tournament that they play in and they do also really bad. Yeah. I think they'll stick it out. I don't know, but the thing that's sad is like this was their tournament to win or to go the distance,
Yeah, like It felt like it was setting them up for success.
Yeah. The one time they couldn't have their off tournament, they have their off tournament.
That's a bad sign.
So do they just break under pressure?
And they haven't won. And they haven't won a champion. They've been there so many times and haven't been able to clutch up to win one yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe
they just have underdog mindsets. Like they need to be an underdog for them to do well. Yeah, and then when they go in, it's like they might win this whole thing. Then they crumble. They can't handle it.
It's possible.
It is sad because like I feel like this team was like, or is still like the best vibes. Like again, this is a team that shouldn't really be good, but they are. And so if they start to like crumble now, that'd be kind of sad. Like
I agree.
It would have been really cool to see them prevail as these, these, I guess you could say average-ish pros. Again, to be a pro, you still have to be really good. Like,
how dare you?
I know, right? But like, yeah, they surprised the world with their performance up until now.
I mean, if they go into the next event and then they lose to OpTic, then they lose to Paris.
Yeah, then it probably
now you're talking problems.
If they lose to Paris, especially.
Yes.
Like, yeah, definitely need to make some changes.
Yeah, I agree.
And it'd probably start with Asim.
And it'd be Asim.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be the biggest question mark, but I just don't know if that's like, do you classify him as a problem for them at this point, or was it just an off event?
Might have been an off event, but Asim's he's never impressed me yet. And that's what I've been.
He hasn't.
But for me, I've seen him like, okay, he has this potential to impress me, to be this great player. We just wait for him to break out into that, but then he just seems to be going down.
Yeah.
Up.
How long do you wait?
I'm questioning that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long do you wait for that before you're like, okay, we gotta take in somebody else, like Fellow maybe.
I do love the energy a Sim brings though.
Oh yeah.
I do too.
He's the man.
That's why
I really
think he
like
could be great.
him.
He's really
I think
cool.
he'd be great, but something happened.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the big four here. New York is up first here. I mean, Mac's starting to fry. Do you feel like they're a legitimate top half team now? For sure.
Not me. I'm not convinced.
Really? Why?
Middle of the pack. Upper. I mean, top half. I guess if it's
someone
top
couldn't convince you of
half,
sixth,
if they're top half, it's the bottom of the top half for me.
like sixth.
Yeah, but that would be the middle. So I mean, yeah, I could put him in the middle right now. To keep putting him higher up, I need to see him play against again with Empire, with Huntsman, with FaZe. But they're definitely a lot better, and I won't take that away from them.
It is hard though, because like
I'm not convinced yet.
we're starting to see like
convinced.
it's hard though, because like we're starting to see other bottom teams be really good too. So it's like, do you put them above? If Ultra stay consistent,
OpTic Toronto.
do you put them as, yeah? So I don't know. It's hard. They're definitely, yeah, like you said. I think you can confidently say they're way better than they were at the beginning of the year. But then the question is, are they a top 6 team? They could be sixth.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how you feel about the Mutineers at this point. Are you going to overreact about the Mutineers, or are you going to overreact about
Rokkr.
the Rokkr?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's hard to put London in the top 6 now. You can't put Paris. You definitely can't put Paris in the top 6.
I wouldn't put London.
Yeah, Paris I'm putting
But
down,
maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves here with power rankings.
Yeah.
This is too fun.
Yeah.
But
But yes, Mac looked incredible.
I mean, I think Mac's the real deal. I mean, I believed it going into his first appearance. I believed in Mac because I've seen him play in the AMC, and I thought he was a beast, and that it's translating. I'm really excited about that. So, I think long term New York's going to be a contender. Like when it come champs, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're a top, like fourth team, kind of fourth favorite going in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd say that right now, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're top 4 going.
They
in
need to get a lot of pro league points.
True,
That is true. Yeah,
they were pretty far behind.
Yeah,
they need to get going.
I agree. But all right, let's move on to OpTic then. OpTic Gaming, the Pacman-less OpTic Gaming.
Oof. Crazy.
All right, Chino. That's obviously the conversation.
Yep.
Does Chino actually make them better? Is Chino the long-term fix for this roster?
That's a good question. I don't know. At least for this tournament, I think he brings the vibes. Maybe it was just the novelty thing kicking in. So Slasher played out of his mind. Can we grant that to Chino? Kenny was playing better. Do we grant that to Chino? Because we know he's close with both of them.
Yeah.
So do we just call Chino this vibes catalyst?
The
He's not even
Band-Aid.
there. He's not even there to be a good player. He's just there to be himself so people can feel good. So maybe he makes the sacrificial plays. But
He's like the support dog.
it's like the support dog that these are really toxic players on OpTic. I mean, I feel like we've always known all these players are like, minus Kenny maybe, very strong-headed people. So
Well, Tish just always just along for the ride. Do you guys see the clip of him stunning himself?
Yes. Bro, I got stunned.
Bro, I got stunned.
if I were to get rid of anybody, to be honest, I think it would be TJ.
He is like,
Unless you can find somebody to replace Chino, but Chino, I think, is bringing a certain, X factor that not a lot of other players just can't bring it because they don't have the relationships like he has.
We've all been there for Tish though, man. I've thrown that stun. I'm like,
Oh,
oh no, I'm
absolutely.
stunned. I'm stunned.
you never call that out. You never say, "Oh, I saw myself." You got, "Oh man, bro, I got stunned."
Yeah,
which is the truth.
It's just the fact that it got caught on the listening.
No,
it's so funny, so funny. But no, Rex. I mean,
who would you replace Chino with? You know, they just had
I
their
have no
best
idea.
placing.
Yeah,
by far.
I
They
agree.
Got second.
No, you can't
OpTic
replace him. You can't
got
replace him at this
second.
point. You have to keep
That's
playing
crazy.
with him.
Yeah.
But did he impress you? Because he did not impress me.
No, he played. He didn't play. He played like kind of how I thought he'd play.
I mean, he
But
played
maybe-
like he had a .79 KD. I mean, that's like below some JCap.
It's
Not all
really
JCap
bad.
levels.
It's about JCap level.
It's about JCap level.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just I want to give him another shot because they did better even with him going .79. They still went.
Oh yeah,
farther,
no,
so.
I agree. Imagine if he goes .9 or .95 or 1. Then how good is
Yeah.
OpTic Gaming?
And
You
maybe,
know?
Exactly.
and maybe he's a guy
And
that
this is his first tournament back.
Yeah.
I don't know how much scrim time he
cut
had
him
with the
some slack.
team.
Yeah.
So next tournament, if he doesn't show up, then it's like, okay, you're just not good enough.
Yeah.
We can't have a JCap situation where we keep him for way too long.
Unless they place well.
Unless they place well. If they place well, it's like it's hard to say no, you know?
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Even though he's not playing well, it's like he looks like he's holding them back, but they keep placing well. So it's like,
Yeah.
all right.
It is really cool to see Chino back though.
Oh, it is, dude. Seeing him on the cam,
I
just
love
chilling.
Chino. Yeah.
It is great. It is
Such a
great.
great guy.
The COD League is better with Chino in
It
the league.
is.
Money
Really
Gene.
But yeah, again, I think that is the question that will be answered in the next 1 to 2 tournaments is if he is the long-term solution for this roster.
I agree. I think it's gonna be really fun, kind of monitoring on the way out. So let's get into the juicy final 2 teams here: OpTic and FaZe. Let's talk about I'm so
Roll it back.
Let's talk about the final team here: FaZe, the champions. So we kind of already answered the MVP question,
How do you do this?
but
What?
that is not it.
What
How do you
is
do
that?
it? I don't even know.
Put your thumb
Your thumb out.
across your middle finger.
Oh, is that?
Okay, you know what? Let's just keep going.
Phase up.
You're gonna get.
It's just the middle finger out. That's all it is.
Okay.
Anyways.
No, yeah. The role change.
Yes.
FaZe. They made the role change going into this tournament, not going into this tournament, going last
tournament.
And we're like, all right, maybe they need a little bit more practice on it. They swapped Cellium and Major Maniac. Major Maniac kind of moved like the flex route man role, and Cellium took over the main AR.
Mhm.
And like I was saying last week, I was like, if this is gonna work, they're gonna win.
Yes.
If it doesn't work, then we'll know right away. And it worked, man. They looked really good. They were back to FaZe levels.
Yeah.
I mean, are they the best team in the league?
Yeah.
We're not power ranking. We're just talking, shooting the
They gotta
the
be
shoes
the
here.
I mean, the only person you could maybe say contends is Empire, but we haven't seen them with Empire in it in a while. But I think you have to say FaZe is the best.
Ooh, really?
How can you not? They've been consistently getting the top. They've never had a slump period. They've always done well.
I'm surprised you said that.
It's
Over your boys, the Dallas Empire.
I mean, I think Empire can fight for it. I think we'll see if they play each other, then that kind of will tell you. But Empire's top 2, but FaZe.
I mean, they literally, Empire just beat FaZe 2 weeks ago in the grand finals.
True.
Yeah.
But Empire's had their downs. Empire
Oh,
loses
yeah.
to teams they shouldn't lose to, but FaZe doesn't. FaZe keeps winning.
Except for Rokkr.
FaZe loses
but-
games that
Except
it's
for
supposed to
Rokkr.
lose. Except for the Rokkr game, I guess. Yeah, now I'm thinking about that. It's like maybe Rokkr bad now. Maybe they were bad the whole time.
And then also Subliners did take him to a game 5. So not forget about that.
Yeah, but Subliners were looking good too.
And they didn't beat him. They took him to a game 5.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
so they
just,
didn't beat him either.
yeah.
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 I think a lot of the community would say Empire's the best team right now.
Like, without a doubt, at the beginning of the league, FaZe looked like unstoppable gods.
Like they were going to win every single event.
But now they look so much more human. So.
But
I hate to say, you cannot say Empire's undoubtedly the best team in the league.
I right now, I do not know. Last podcast, or the podcast where we power ranked, I did say FaZe was the top.
so you have to stick with it.
I did stick with it, but like, again, I feel more comfortable putting them in the same tier.
Yeah, tier 1. They're both
Tier 1. Huntsman definitely not in that tier. or Rokkr.
Yeah, no, it just sucks that we saw them.
They're both tier 1.
We just saw them in their first event with their new. I mean, in their first event playing the new roles, they've made it to the grand finals.
Yeah,
and they lost to Empire, who have obviously been great online.
Yeah. On the upside too, they've been inclining.
Yeah, they've been getting better. I think. Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly at this point, it's the top 2 teams are FaZe and Empire, and then
absolutely.
It's a big gap.
Big gap.
Even though they're still getting taken like map 5s and map 4s by teams, but I do think at the end of the day, when FaZe is like when they're in the thick of it, they're so hard to beat.
Yeah.
Like, good luck beating FaZe in a game 5 if you're not Empire.
I think you can undoubtedly say they have the most skill on their team.
I agree.
Individual skill. The question is though, like, obviously teamwork can outperform skill.
Okay, I mean, do you think it's gonna continue to translate forward? I mean, moving forward from here, every tournament FaZe is in. Are they the favorite in your minds?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably, honestly.
I think they're the favorites, but it's not like they're gonna win the whole thing, because I think there's definitely people who can beat them out. I think Ultra could beat them one day. So it's like,
calm down there, cowboy.
Kind of starting to think that they played really well, but
you never know. Who knows?
No, yeah, I agree with you. So I think it'll be fun to see where FaZe ends up. I'm very confident in their roster moving forward. I mean, Major Maniac, he does this thing, man. He had a great tournament. He like quietly had like a 1 point. Let me check real quick. A 1.17.
That's really good.
By far his best event of the whole year.
Good for him.
Good job, Major.
And so hopefully his role's kind of he's starting to fall into place with his role there. And I think it's really going to be great for them if he can keep that up and get comfortable in that route man role.
If he's dropping that, then wow.
They're going to be insane.
That's scary.
Yeah. When Priest is your worst player, you know you're in a good spot.
No joke.
So, I mean, that kind of wraps up with where we're at today, baby.
Yeah.
The COD League's in full effect. And the competition has never been better. Like, this is insane.
It's really cool to see.
I mean, when you see Toronto and OpTic out here putting up numbers on teams and like taking them to the woodshed, you're like, what in the world?
It's phenomenal.
So I think really, truly going into every single event, we're going to have no clue who's going to win this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's true. Yeah. It's crazy. And it's awesome.
Especially an event that doesn't have Empire or FaZe. Yeah. It's like, what in the world? After that, it's like, who the freak is going to win? But all right, guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in. It is another one in the books as we continue marching on through the season. We do appreciate all the support, the likes, the comments. If you guys enjoy the video, like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and share the podcast. If you guys really enjoy it, we really do appreciate that. But as always, guys, I'm your host, Josh. SalvationsElite to my right is Bash_Bo3. And to our farthest right is Rex, ShadyNero. And this has been the best of 3 Call of Duty Esports Podcasts. And we will see you next time, guys. We out.